Hello, different location for this week's video, but I wanted to take some time just to give you an insight into what I've been discussing this week. And this week it related to geographical location, and in particular, when we are young players and when we're parents, guardians, how do we set our expectation around where we might go and play? So let me give you a little scenario, and then as ever, we're going to dig into some data on this. First of all, when we're growing up, let's say we've got young players who are 14, 15, 16, where do they think about where they're going to play? And do we have conversations about where they might be professional players? Because the first point to know is that football is very much a global game. I spoke to a former player this week, had a fantastic career in New Zealand, came through the academy system, moved over to New Zealand at a youngish age, had great time down there, earned money, met connections, now has got a network around the world where he helps young players source where they can go. Do we think about that, or are we stuck in a mindset where we're going through an academy system in England or the UK and we're thinking, so I want to play just in this country? Do we think about clubs on our doorstep in Europe? Scandinavian teams, in our discussion, we were talking about how Scandinavian teams love to take academy players from the UK. And do we have that conversation with players? When I'm working with younger players, they tend to be nation-centric. They tend to be thinking about the leagues that they know the best. So they'll go into National League and drop down without thinking about what great opportunities are available abroad. Now, when we dig into the data on this, it becomes even more important. Just think about this for a moment. There's a better chance of leaving an academy system, going abroad and being bought back than there is in going through the academy system into under-21s and then into a football club in this country. That's a really, really odd way of thinking about it, but the Premier League buys 60-ish% of their players from leagues abroad, 65% of their players from other leagues. So you're already in the minority if you're staying in English clubs to get to, obviously that's into the Premier League. From their own academy, 5-10% of their players will come through. And then, even when you come through into that club, you're then likely to be sold somewhere else. So the maths don't add up. You are better, as we said in last week's video, getting out into men's football, and men's football exists everywhere around the world. When we're young, how are we as parents developing young players so that they have a different mindset about culture? I spoke to somebody this week it's actually their brother. They went to Spain, didn't like it, weren't ready. We work with young players and their parents so that we are culturally ready. We have to introduce young players to different cultures. Why? Football's a global game. It exists in so many cultures around the world, and those opportunities are out there. That's a way into professional football. That's the insight from this week. I hope that's really, really useful.